I'm Kangna, your host for today's session. I have a background in biology and completed my MSc from Ashoka University, and I'm currently working with Ashoka's Research and Development Office. I'll be guiding you through what promises to be an engaging and insightful session today. Thank you all for joining today's session on the Sciences at Ashoka. This is your chance to connect with esteemed Ashoka faculty, discuss the majors and minors, and explore their innovative work, research projects, teaching approaches, and other aspects of Ashoka's science programs. Joining us are distinguished faculty members representing three diverse yet interconnected majors at Ashoka: Professor Munmun Ghosh, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, Ashoka University. Professor Munmun has completed her PhD from National Chemical Laboratory, Pune. Professor Suratna Das, Assistant Professor of Physics, Ashoka University. Professor Das received her PhD from Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad, and Professor Kritika Garg, Faculty Fellow, Ramalingaswamy Fellow, Department of Biology. Professor Kritika earned a PhD from National Center for Biological Science, NCBS, Bangalore. Welcome, professors. Before we begin, here's a quick reminder for the audience. The deadline for round 1 of Ashoka's undergraduate program is 27th November 2024. You don't have to wait for your 12th board marks or CUET scores to apply. You could receive a confirmed admission offer and scholarship even before your final results. I would also like to inform the audience to feel free to post any questions in the Q&A box. We'll address them at the end of the session. Now, without further delay, let's get started. So, beginning with today's discussion, the first question is for Professor Kritika. What sets Ashoka's UG program apart in terms of job and internship opportunities? Can you share some instances of research opportunities that biology students have previously pursued?
Hi, good evening, Kangana. Thank you for inviting me for this session. Good evening to everybody who's present here. So generally for the undergrads at Ashoka, they prefer to go in for a master's degree within the field of biology. Most students prefer to get basically a master's degree before they pursue a job or they get into research. But regarding internships, you have multiple opportunities every summer and in winter. Many students at Ashoka, they apply for the fellowships that you have for the summer school or for the winter school, like JNCSAR, INSA, and they have gotten that. Generally, there's also the global office that helps with summer internships outside India. So we do have a lot of these opportunities that are available. We also have internships within Ashoka itself. So every year we have students from Ashoka undergraduate as well as from everywhere else in India who apply to us and they do their summer internships with us. Generally, we prefer summer interns because there's a much longer duration, somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks at least. Now, in terms of job, we have had one student who actually, after her undergraduate, joined the science gallery here in Bangalore. And she is a mediator there where she's decided to, get into communication. So she decided to, after her undergraduate, get into science communication, and she actually joined the science gallery in Bangalore. So we do have few students who decide to do that, but generally most of them go in for their master's program. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Professor. Professor Munmun, the next question is related to chemistry, so you can take that. What are the different career opportunities that exist after completing the UG program with a chemistry major from Ashoka University?
Thanks, Kangna, and good evening to everyone. It's a very important question because this is something every student and parents have that in their mind. So I will just ask that what are in general what the chemistry student can have the opportunity. But with that, I also want to add how the chemistry at Ashoka are actually preparing them. So one thing you all know that after doing chemistry, you can have the huge potentiality to go for chemical industry. And that chemical industry is, it can be just chemical industry like petrochemical industry. It can be like a pharmaceutical industries. It can be cosmetic industry, or it can go to some environmental service. Now, how students here from the chemistry departments are actually getting some of the experience of doing the industry thing. So first thing we do like analytical chemistry practical. in our laboratory as a part of our UG chemistry laboratory. And there we give them a lot of essence of very fancy instrument, which sometimes we have, like in Ashoka campus we have, or sometimes we take them through nearest industry or to the IITs. So we have basically Sonipat IIT Delhi campus. So there we take them and we try to give them some experience about the instrument. Also, students can do SP research, or nowadays because of NEP policy, student can do at their fourth year research with their courses, like that's a BSc, which actually comes with the research also. So there also give them a lot of opportunities to do synthetic as well as analytical technique in the laboratory, like pharmaceutical chemistry, right? So we, in the laboratory, like undergraduate lab, we actually expose them to do like paracetamol synthesis. So that gives the student little bit essence of what they're going to do in pharmaceutical industry. Similarly, like environmental policy or environmental chemistry, right? Like nowadays, it's a pollution that is, I think, each and everyone is facing. Now, as a chemistry student, we actually try to give in the class as well as in lecture, try to give you a lot of essence of CO2 capture as well as how to convert it to value added product. And when I talk to value added product, that means I'm talking about petrochemical industries also. So these all actually take you that what you're going to do after your, as a job, as your career after just a chemistry major in from Ashoka. Also, like as Professor Kritika also mentioned, normally after just UG chemistry, definitely prefer that you do at least 1 year masters and then you go for this job, because definitely that will be, as I mentioned, that this can be 1 year can be your research. So then you will have a lot of option for all these industries. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Moving on to the next question. Can you provide information on the alumni network and success stories from Ashoka University in the field of physics? So, Professor Suratna, if you would want to take the question.
Thanks, Kangana. So I think this is also a very important question, because when some students join Ashoka University, they always have that thing in mind, that what after Ashoka. So if may, I can share the screen. Is it possible? Oh, it's possible. Let me share the screen and let me show you what our alumni so far are doing. So as you can see that this is our first batch, and even in the very first batch which graduated in 2020, so this is the batch which I didn't teach. I hadn't joined Ashoka at that time. So this is before before I joined Ashoka. So this is the first batch who graduated in 2020, then stayed back, did one more year of their advanced major. And after their advanced major, you can see that they are really, really well placed almost all over India. So I start with Rashmi. So Rashmi is one of the students who got that very prestigious fellowship. And she then, with full fellowship, she joined University of Geneva. She did her master's in astrophysics from University of Geneva. And then Rahul Menon, he moved into quantum computing in the University of Waterloo. Then Yajushi, she moved to computational biology in University of Pittsburgh and Carnegie Mellon. It was a funded, fully funded position that she got into. And then there were Heer, who joined Germany, and Naren University of Edinburgh, and that's University of Stuttgart. So this was the first batch. And then, okay, it's not, let me see if I can scroll it down. Sorry, where is the second slide? Yeah. So in the second batch, Rohit went to Japan in Okinawa University. Digvijay started his own startup. Risham went to University of Wisconsin. Yashashvi went to University of Copenhagen. And Vishnu Priyashi joined NCBS Bangalore to do biophysics. And this is our second batch. The third batch, we had Karthik, who did very well. And he joined University of Bonn and University of Cologne. It was also a fully funded, I mean, he went with the scholarship, so it was fully funded. And Ankit was one of our brightest students of their batch. He joined University of Cambridge with, again, a full fellowship. And of course, there's Coco. She stayed back. She was also very one of our bright students, but she stayed back in Ashoka, and she's now a research associate in the biology department. And then there were Nitin, who he moved to computer science, and he is in USA at this moment. So this is our third batch. And the fourth batch, the last batch, who graduated in 2024, we had a really, really bright batch. So Anjali, she did her a master thesis with me, and she was also an INLAC fellowship. INLAC is a very, very prestigious fellowship that Indian, very bright, only I think every year they give it to only 10 students all over India, and Anjali was one of them. And I'm very proud to say that she did her project, her capstone thesis with me, and she now has moved to Leiden University to do her PhD in astrophysics. Anjali was also one of our very bright students. She moved to theoretical physics in Oxford University. Jagat, one of the brightest students I have ever taught, he has moved to USA to do his PhD. Kushal has moved to Glasgow University. Krishna has moved to data analysis. I think he is going to also looking forward to start his own startup. And Shweta got into Cornell University. Tejas, another bright student, he went to Texas University, and Spandan is now in, though it is written Bonn Cologne, I think he has moved to Germany. So this is, let me stop sharing. So this is what our alumni has been from our physics department. We are very proud that they are all very well placed. But I think the reason that they are well placed, because in physics department, we really do not compromise with our course structure. Our course structure is up to the mark with all the best universities of the world. Whatever is being taught at BSc level in all the top universities, our syllabus is at par with them. And we have a fantastic range of professors. We have senior professors, we have junior professors. We are very enthusiastic about teaching, and everybody is extremely approachable. Everybody can approach them. We had a very close connections with our undergrad students. They come talk with us. They do research with us. So I think this has been reflected in where they have been placed now. So I think yes, we really have a very good alumni already, and yes, I think that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Professor. The next question is, can you provide an example to illustrate the concept of interdisciplinary research? This question is open to all. You may elaborate on your own research or choose any other example from the university. Whoever wants to go first.
I can
Yes,
go.
Professor.
Yeah, so in physics, I think most of the students like to do something interdisciplinary with biology, because biophysics is a booming field. And we also have very two prominent physicists, Professor Gautam Menon and Professor Garima. Both of them, and of course, Professor Shomin, they do research on, which are both in between physics and biology. So definitely students are all motivated to do interdisciplinary research. So many of them take biology minor and try to do some projects with the biology department. But there are students who also do interdisciplinary research with computer sciences. We have students who have taken minor in philosophy also. So people would like to also know about philosophy of science and all these things. So we get quite a few students who like to do minor in philosophy. And in that way, it is quite diverse. And people in physics department, at least, they do explore other opportunities which are available in Ashoka University, and they take good advantage of these facilities that Ashoka University provides.
Thank you, Professor. Yes, Professor Manmohan.
Yeah, so I just want to add from my experience that so I do a course on nanomaterials, and with physics professor Shushmita, we do research nanomaterial on nanomaterials. So physics, chemistry both relate there. We have students who are basically chemistry major, but actually doing research or internship or their ASP thesis on biology. And we have also students who are actually from psychology, but doing also chemistry internship with us. Similarly, physics student doing their ASP thesis in chemistry, because I think at some point this physics, chemistry, biology, the borderline which actually becomes very blurred, because they're very much interrelated. All are basically central science, so they're very much related right now. I mean, or nowadays we really cannot separate one from other, and that's why students also are understanding. And in Ashoka, we from every department, every faculty actually try to facilitate that so that students from any discipline, and if there is any knowledge possible, like knowledge exchange and everything, that is any way possible, that's what we always try to do. So that is the best thing about Ashoka. I just want to add another one line, that when I did my bachelor, we had just only option for, if I'm a chemistry major, then I have only option for physics and maths. Okay, and I did my research on bioinorganic, and I always wish that I should have learned biology a little bit more. And I think here Ashoka stands out, like a student who is a economics major come to us for doing a project, or like we call this as ISM. They do project in chemistry, or psychology student does a project in biology, and so on. So these are very much interconnected, and we always try to encourage that in our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
So yes, Munmun and Suratna both have covered major topics. So that is the main goal, right? So we also in our research, so there are people who are doing biophysics, biochemistry. With my own research, we do a lot of computational work for my research. So we are collaborating with people in mathematics department as well as in the computer science department. So not just the students, even the professors collaborate over here. And we have had undergraduate students who try different things, right? So the most common within biology we see is biology with physics, biology with chemistry, but we have a lot of students who do a major in biology and a minor in psychology. We had a student who did this and then went into public health and started looking in public health, how you can improve and understand public health here. We have also had a student who finished his undergraduate and then went in to do physics of life. That's what he wants to study for his master's. So I think it's important, and it's always encouraged at Ashoka to think beyond the subjects that you're looking at. And I'll give it up to Moonmun now to talk.
Thank you, Kritika. I want to add, because Shuratna just showed, I think Divas, one of their second batch UG physics major student. He basically had no connection with chemistry. At least I didn't, before I joined, he was not there in chemistry department. But right now he is doing his startup on movable battery, a car battery. And we have and he came to me to learn about this. And this is what we always encourage. And we have a huge talk about, or a long talk about, supercapacitor or battery thing, or green hydrogen, which I'm actually doing research. And he tried to learn from me that how I mean, in what way I can help him in this in his startup. So I think that's the thing what we want in our student after they graduate from Ashoka. Thank you.
Thank you so much, professors. The next question is directed to Professor Kritika. What advantages does Ashoka University's UG program offer over, for instance, a BSc honors in biology from any other institution? Can students expect to acquire sufficient subject-specific knowledge in comparison to those pursuing a core honors degree elsewhere in the country?
All right. So where Ashoka really stands out, and I think I really feel jealous because as an undergraduate, I never had this opportunity. Munmun mentioned this, right? The freedom to choose what you want to learn. We do offer the breadth and depth of biology, but we still offer students options to, learn other things, go beyond biology, right? So we have the interdisciplinarity we just talked about. We also have the freedom to learn and do research because a lot of students are interested in research, and at the undergraduate level, they don't get to do this that well. So you have the ISM, that's the independent study module, where students can pick a topic and do a detailed project with any professor at Ashoka. There's no stopping them. They don't have to be from the same subject you're majoring in. So you've had people do ISM in economics from a biology student or psychology student coming in and doing an ISM with us. So the idea here is that, they try and experience how research is done, understand what it takes to get into research. So I think those are the two things that Ashoka biology degree offers, which also the other degrees that sciences do offer. That is to be interdisciplinary. You have freedom to choose what you want to do. Plus, you can actually do a research project during your undergraduate, which is not offered by many other places.
Thank you, Professor. The next question is, are there opportunities for science students to engage in internships or collaborative projects with industry partners? Professor Munmun, if you would want to give your inputs.
Yes. So many of our faculties actually are directly contacting with industry for their own project, which tells that our students actually can go, and we actually do a lot of visit to industries, like nearby industries, whether it's Noida or Greater Noida, that we arrange some of the visit like that. Also, some of our faculties with the medicinal. So one of our faculty is basically working on medicinal chemistry. So he is having some industry partner. Similarly, another faculty has, so she's working on energy conversion. So she has also direct collaboration with industry. So yes, and 1 year back, we also tried to have with the outreach team only. We got an opportunity for our students to go for internship in industry, but however, because of the timing and all, that couldn't work out. But definitely that is one thing we try for our students, so that they can get at least little bit of industry scope during their undergraduate study. Yes.
Thank you so much, Professor, for answering. The next question is, what is the extent of undergraduates doing research? Do they have the flexibility of conceptualizing their own research project? Professor Suratna, if you would want to answer this question.
Sure. So the thing is that so far, before this new NEP started, this new education policy. We had this 3 year of BSc and 1 year of advanced major. So most of the students didn't want to leave Ashoka and came back for their 4th year. So we always had the full batch coming for our 4th year, which was actually optional. They could have left Ashoka and had gone to some other place. But we have seen that people do love to come back to Ashoka because in their 4th year, they could have actually done ASP thesis, which is of course research based, and there you will actually be doing a cutting edge research problem with all this any of our professors or somebody from outside Ashoka, but then you have to have a guide in Ashoka also, right? So they can do their research, but not only that, here the undergrads, even before going to their 4th year, which is their thesis project, they have got into labs. We have very good 2 very good labs, condensed matter labs, and we also have astrophysics labs, and people do explore these labs very well, even in their 2nd year or in their 3rd year. So they get into touch with the professors, they start working on some research project. And I am very glad to say that there is one student with Professor Sushmita. He, in his 2nd year, has written a paper with Professor Sushmita, so which is very commendable. And not in his 2nd year. 2nd year, he started his work in Sushmita's lab, and then in his 3rd year, he actually wrote a paper, and it got published in a very reputed journal. And he is now continuing his ASP thesis in the same lab, and we are hoping that he will write more papers. And our ASP students have also written papers in very good journals, and now he's in Oxford. So you can see that we do actually encourage doing research, and because all of our professors are all active researchers, so whenever they come to us, they get to know what current research is about in different fields, in field of cosmology, which is my field, in field of quantum field theory, in field of condensed matter physics, in the field of astrophysics. And apart from that, if you are not very interested in these fields, but there are interdisciplinary fields, like people have done projects in bio, so in biophysics, people have done joint projects with computer science. So there are interdisciplinary research as well, not only in their final year, but from the very beginning, they can get into touch with the cutting edge research that people are doing at Ashoka.
Thank you,
I hope that
Professor.
helps.
Yes, thank you so much. The next question is, how does the university foster a collaborative and interactive learning environment in the sciences? Can students collaborate with their peers across different departments to solve a research problem? This is also open to everyone, whoever wants to answer.
Maybe I'll go first and then Munmun, sorry.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So yes, this is like, as we are saying all this while, right? Yes, students are free to join whoever they find their work interesting, work with them. They're also, group projects. It's not just one student, because yes, you have your academics to look after, your extracurricular activities as an undergraduate student to look after. And there are a few students who really like to do research. So yes, you're free to collaborate with students from other departments, from other fields as well. And it's always encouraged at Ashoka to, come up with a question. And if you have to resolve that, it's always welcome. I would just say that. Yes, Munmun, up to you.
Thanks, Kritika. So I just want to give one example. So the year I joined Ashoka, one of the student who was basically psychology major came to me, and definitely he had very little idea about chemistry, but he had a very prominent problem which deals with chemistry. And both of us both of us went to the Aswarpur village, which is just nearby our Ashoka University. And he had the mind that there was a pond, the water was very bad, and he convinced me that in any way, whatever the instrument in our lab, can we clean the water? And we collected the water and we took in the lab and we did some study, and what we found out was interesting. It's not basically more than microbes and other things. It's basically just all the wastage, which is all the bathroom wastage actually, which are there. And he wrote a project for this millennia, and he got it, and he did a 6 months project on this problem. So this is the extent of a student who is not even completely from science background. Later, actually, he did chemistry minor. So that is something we really think that Ashoka stands out. I don't think any of the university or any of the very traditional university don't give the chance to the student like this. And yeah, for any problem, if there is, so basically we faculty love to collaborate, whether it's computer science, whether it's with physics, or whether it's chemistry. If we do a lot of interdisciplinary project, and students are encouraged to do so. So that's why, so everything we want that collaborative way. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, professors. The next question is again for you, Professor Munyan. What career guidance and support does the university offer for science majors? How do Ashoka students secure positions at top universities and industries?
Okay, so first thing what we do, we have our coursework is basically we follow not only the traditional courses what the other universities does. Other than these traditional courses, we have a lot of customized elective. And in that, we do either say a catalysis or industrial chemistry or sustainability. So these are all customized, like nanomaterials. That is something we added because this is nano age. So these are the subjects we try to teach the students, or we try to give the lecture in the student. And the second thing we try to do with the student, that we try to give them the exposure of research from their first year. It's not only the practical I'm talking about, that they anyway do. And our practical is also not something what the traditional universities does. So just giving you an example, we do practical like how much phosphoric acid in the cold drinks there, or how much calcium is present in milk what we buy from outside, or what is the viscosity of oil, right? So these kind of experiments we do, or something like forensic experiment, like in hydrates test, how can we do the forensic, in the forensic lab, how people do the forensic experiment. So all these things, actually, we think that students will grow their research mind from their first year. And we give them the option that you do the rotation in the lab, and you choose your own research topics. Okay, so once they have that interest, they choose their research topics and all, then they start to work as a ASP or ISM, what Kritika also mentioned. And for top universities, I think most of the top universities actually want students with enough knowledge, not only enough knowledge, but also hands-on experiment. So what we do with our students also during their summer vacation, many of our students actually, we gave them opportunity to go for not only inside Ashoka, we also give them opportunity to go for either to do an internship in either Kolkata or either Pune, or many ISers in all over India, NCL or Gen CSR or TFR. So that they can go and have the opportunity also to learn from other faculties of very prominent institutes of India. So so these are our strategy. Now our chemistry department is very new. We just started from 2020. So now our students are most of the, whoever is our alumni, they are doing either masters or one of them actually in Ashoka doing media studies. So these are the things students are doing, but definitely for, as I mentioned earlier also, that to go for higher study, I believe that it is very important to do at least 1 or 2 year very dedicated research. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor. The next question is, what kind of research facilities and resources are available for science students at Ashoka University? Professor Suratna, if you want to take the question.
Definitely, I'll take the question, but I think I can only speak for physics department.
Yeah.
If Munmun or Kritika can shed some light on their department, that would be fine. In Ashoka, in physics department, as I've already said, that we have two condensed matter labs, which are very advanced level labs, and all the UG students have access to these labs, so they can do their research there, as well as they can do some interdisciplinary. I'm repeating my statements, but again, they have the opportunity to do their research in chemistry or biology in connection with physics, and people generally do that, right? So the biology labs, even the physics labs, are all accessible to the UG students. And the thing is that we also have collaborations with IIT Delhi. We also have collaborations with SN Bose Institute in Kolkata. So people, if they have we have collaborations with these institutes. If students can have some projects there, they can go to IIT Delhi or go to some other research institutes. We all our faculty members have very good collaborations all over the world. So if those collaborations can be made, then students can actually have a very good research opportunities. They can go and access. We have MOU with Groningen University. So Professor Shushmita has some collaborations over there. So one can actually go and do some, even those labs are accessible to UG students of Ashoka University, right? So it's not only restricted to the premises of Ashoka, but it's quite large. And it depends on what kind of research project that the student takes up. Depending on that, they will have access to many, many facilities, not only, within the Ashoka premises. If somebody else like to comment on other department experimental facilities, and
Can I?
yeah, sure.
Yeah. So chemistry has basically state-of-the-art lab. And at least I can say that because I have seen other labs in other universities, and definitely I can say our chemistry undergraduate lab is really, really good or state of the art. We have, so basically we, even in the practical classes also, we tell our students to handle the instrument by themselves. And that instrument, that can be a melting point apparatus, that can be as fancy as gas chromatography, but they handle that by themselves. Also, not only in our institute, we take our student, as Suratna also mentioned, we take our students to many other institute for characterization purpose, because chemistry is all about not only, while you make the new molecules, you have to characterize it. So for NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance, or for mass purpose, we take them to Shivnadar University, or the closest one is IIT Delhi Sonipat campus, which is full of very fancy or very nice instruments, which we do a lot of studies there. We take them to Delhi University also, and also we take their samples, whatever they make in the laboratory, either in the UG lab or as a part of their UG lab or in their research. We do the characterization, and they actually get a lot of interest to that, because I'm sure they haven't have a chance before to see those instruments or to understand those instruments, right? So, just like last week, me and Shushmita are co-teaching one course. Shushmita from physics department, co-teaching a course of nanomaterials. We take them to IIT Delhi Sonipat campus, and the undergraduate students were really in awe seeing those instruments. So those are basically top-notch instruments. And Ashoka is providing every facility to get the characterization done. So I'm really thankful to Ashoka for this reason. Yeah, thank you.
I was on mute. Similar to what Suratna and Munman said, with the biology department also we have UG labs. So there's separate facility for UG students to do their practicals. And for each PI, we have common labs for biology, which is open to all PIs, not just from biology department, but from other department if they need to use their instrument. So undergrad students also who are doing projects are allowed to use those instruments. They're trained to use those instruments as well. We now have the Trivedi School of Biosciences that is coming up. That's a new building. We have the state-of-the-art for microscopy, facility for microscopy. We have a lot of work for genomics. That's what I do for generating next generation sequencing. So getting all those samples ready, minuscule quantities of samples ready for doing this work. So think of it in any field. In biology, it's really vast. So it starts off from the living organism, that's what we work with, to the cell, to the molecules, to getting into structures, right? Looking at the structures of proteins and things like that. So the department spans expertise in all these areas. So similarly, we have infrastructure now, which is built to actually help faculty to do their research, as well as students who work with them, and undergrad students are welcome to use that. They have their own facility for their practicals, plus the facility that's open at Ashoka. And of course, when we collaborate with others outside Ashoka, we also work with them. They can students can go with us and work with them as well. So it's open to the students there. So that's it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, professors. The next question, Professor Munmun also shed some light on this. So if anyone else wants to expand a little bit more, how does the university integrate practical laboratory experience into its curriculum?
Can I go with
Yeah,
this
yeah,
question?
sure.
Yes. So the thing is that in physics, we do read a lot about theories, right? So like classical mechanics, quantum mechanics, statistical mechanics. And when we read all these things on textbooks, it looks like it's all mathematics and probably has nothing to do with the practical world. But one must realize that physics is first all about experiments. So whatever theory we had has to be tested in laboratory, and only the experimentalist can say which theory is correct. So whatever we learn in the classrooms, our laboratory courses are designed such a way that one can go and see what they're learning in the classroom in a practical way, right? So they can go and do some hands-on experiment to test what they're learning in the class. So that makes the learning very enjoyable, because they can see whatever is written in the textbook in going and doing it in laboratory, and all the results are very visual. So I think that makes the journey very enjoyable, and that is how we have structured our laboratory courses. And in that way, they actually can learn the subject in a much better way. And they also must understand that physics is not all about mathematics. It has to be tested by experiments, and the experiments play as a more, I mean, even more role in physics than theorists can give, right? So our laboratory courses are very well designed, such as our theory courses. And I think people, the undergrads who come here really, really enjoy our UG courses.
Thank you, Professor. Should we move on, or does anyone want to say anything?
Yes, I think it's the same with the biology, as Ratna said. So what core practicals you do each semester, it's linked with the theory courses that you learn in the class. So there is a connection. The connection is also clarified during the practicals, so that it's easier for students to, build up on their learning. So I think the courses are really well designed that way in the course.
Yeah, I just want to add something with that. So, of course, like for theory and practical, we try to do that parallelly. But also, as chemistry is all about practical, getting dirty your hand with acid, bases, and other stuff. So, we do some of the experiment with very fun experiment with students in the lab. Right, like in we have a gateway course. It is introductory laboratory course. In that, we taught our student how to make soap, and you can't believe, like, our student from the whole campus, they collected flowers, leaves, and all sorts of spices, and then they made soap out of that. I mean, of course, you require NaOH and other stuff, but the fun of getting that was immense. And later, they actually sold that in our Ashoka hut, and they were super happy. And then at the same introductory lab course, I taught them how to make ice cream through liquid nitrogen. However, it's not about only chemistry, it's also about physics. And till last heart, they made the ice cream in front of everyone with that liquid nitrogen and sold that to everyone with all sorts of toppings. So this is the best part of chemistry. And then you do a lot of prank with others with the magic color and other stuff. So this is the best part of chemistry, specifically from the practical lab they enjoy. Similarly, just last week only we just plucked a lot of neem leaves from our campus, and with that we made silver nanoparticle. And then we are characterizing that, sending the sample to other laboratory for doing same or TEM. So all these technical instrument. But these are the things which relate us that chemistry is everywhere or science is everywhere. We just have to connect ourselves. It's not only just studying it in textbooks. So yeah, so like that way we design our, as I mentioned earlier also, whether it's forensic, whether it's blueprinting, or whether it is a soap making, it's all practical. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Can I just go
Yes.
and say a few things? I mean, I'm saying all about physics, but the thing is that our department has a very unique feature that one can do physics major along with astronomy, astrophysics minor. So this we have started from last year, and this has attracted a lot of students because people generally get fascinated about astrophysics, looking at stars, looking at these beautiful pictures of galaxies that all these telescopes have taken, and it's very easy to get fascinated with this subject, and they really like to pursue their fascination, and we really get a lot of students for our astro major and astro minor. We have fantastic laboratories for doing astrophysics. We have telescopes. We go out and they take pictures of stars. They do their spectral analysis. They learn about what compositions those stars are made of. I mean, it's a kind of chemistry, but looking at the chemistry of the stars, right? So they do a lot of fun in doing all these astrophysics experiments. And our astrophysics lab is just top notch. I mean, people from IUCA and from other department, other research institutes have come and have seen our astro lab, and they're just at awe with it. They couldn't, believe that in such a short time we could have built up such a new, very innovative lab. And thanks to our HOD, Professor Dipankar Bhattacharya, who has actually was the pivotal person who gave all his time, all his strength to build up all these laboratories. And students enjoy these astro laboratories like anything. So yeah, it's a great opportunity to learn to. I mean, I don't think there's any university in, at least in India, where one can go do a physics major along with an astro minor, which is a very, 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 many people desire to get a physics major along with an astro minor. So I think it's one of the features of our department. Thank you.
Yeah, can I just add few more words?
Sure.
Like what Suratna was telling regarding the astro, like in Ashoka, you will actually find the physics student with all the telescope in hand, and doesn't matter what is the time of the day or night, they do all sorts of stuff. And also, I just want to mention we have a lot of society, like we have chemical society, we have astro society, we have physics society, biology society. So they do lots of fun stuff to show the students about magic of science. So students, by their own interest, doing this just because they're loving it.
I'll just add to that. And it's not just open to just the UGs, it's open to every person living on campus, right? So we have the students who are very excited to teach, even so when we teach them, they hopefully get some excitement. So they are also excited to teach some of the kids who move around on campus. We have had 3 years, 4-year-olds using the micro telescopes that are available for everybody else for stargazing that we have as a club. And I had my 4-year-old see Saturn and was very excited about it because he learned about it. So similarly, we have had them look at microscopes and look at all the insects on the campus and things like that. And that's, we have had not just the UG students, right? They get really excited because there's something that they would have learned sometime in their life, but that would have been only textbook knowledge. But when they do it practically, it's very exciting. With bio also, we have practicals where you learn the standard things, right? What is DNA, how you isolate, things like that. But we also have practicals, which is a very cool one, which I also co-teach. It's called Life in the Neighborhood, where we actually go around us and look at animals, plants, insects, all sorts of life that you can see, microbes, planktons, and things like that, and how they co-live with us, how you could study them, how can you experiment on them, things like that. We also started a new course this semester, which is a critical thinking practical course, right? So it's where you're starting to understand how AMR is built, what is antimicrobial resistance, and how would you study it. So it's a practical course. It's an inquiry-based course where students actually go collect water samples all across Sonipat and then grow these microbes, identify these microbes, and see if they have any antimicrobial resistance genes or not, or how common these are. So our practicals are designed in that way that you can ask questions, you can also have a lot of fun while doing it. Because I think that's the beauty of science. You've got to enjoy it when you want to learn it. And you do it much better that way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. This all sounds very fun and exciting. The discussion, we will end the discussion here and start with the audience questions now. So the first question is, does Ashoka offer any science scholarships? If anyone wants to take this up.
I think yes, they have. Made it to science. So it's a limited number, but there are opportunities for that. I mean, this is along with whatever the scholarship or the other aid waiver they're getting. This is completely separate. It's just for science people.
Thank you, Professor. The next question is, someone is asking, how are assignments, internals, and semester exams designed at Ashoka? Again, if anyone wants to take this up.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. This is very course specific. Yes, Ratna, you can go next, please.
No, please go ahead.
So this is very course specific. So for each professor has the freedom to decide what kind of assignments you will have, how many of these you will have, and what's the structure of your midterm and your final exam. So it's always course specific, professor specific here, and there's a lot of freedom to think about how you go about. So we don't always have your traditional exams that you'll have a mid-semester exam and a final exam and everybody's trying to cram in during that. So there is regular testing, trying to see if students understand the subject, because the goal is to see that you understand things rather than just to look at your book knowledge. So I'll end this, Ratna.
Yeah, that's what I was also about to say, that it completely depends on which course, which instructor, how they want to how they like to evaluate. There are continuous evaluations where there are no exams, and at the end you do some project and you just present some project. So I mean this kind of evaluations are also there. There are also some traditional evaluations like midterm, end term with assignments. But definitely it is designed in such a way so that the students are not stressed out. They are free to enjoy the course. And first of all, our whole point of view is to see whether the students are learning. Every core course has teaching assistants. If you are not comfortable approaching the professor, which is not at all the case, the students are always coming and talking to us. But there are teaching assistants who will take your discussion sessions apart from the lecture sessions. They will discuss problems, they will discuss something that you may not have understood in the lecture, but they will elaborate on it. And I mean, it's completely paced out and very nicely done. So the evaluation is not very a stressful thing in Ashoka, that's what I understand. Thank you.
Thank you so much, professors. Next question is, will UG students have an introductory laboratory course for every science discipline?
So for chemistry, we have it, and it's a gateway course. And we do that because there are many students who may not have science in their class 2. So basically we have one course which is basically 2-level course. We call this as 2-level course, where people who didn't have science at all in their class 2 and want to do chemistry, they can have that course. And then we have this introductory lab course where we do all sorts of fun chemistry with our students. And of course we have in Ashoka, that's a specialty. We have the principle of science courses, which are actually exposing our students to science. It doesn't matter it's chemistry, physics, bio, maths, but it's exposing to science. So that we call as a principle of science courses.
Thank you, Professor. The next question is, someone is asking, what is the scope of majoring in a science subject, biology, for example, and minoring in a humanities subject, for example, psychology?
Yes, this is totally possible. Biology and psychology, biology major, psychology minor is one of the most common that's been done. But you also have students who do biology major with English minor, minor in CS, sociology. So it's open to you. There is no restrictions that way. Free to choose what you want to learn. That is the beauty of Ashoka model.
The next question is, when will the Trivedi School of Biosciences be open for UG students?
So that's the main building where all the biology faculty and few chemistry faculty will be shifting to. Their labs are going to be there. In a few months, it should be open. And the UG students, if they're doing projects with the PI, respective PI who's working there, it's open to them to use, right? So we don't restrict people from using any of the facilities at Ashoka.
Thank you, Professor. The next question is, does the research done by UG students also culminate into a publication? You have provided examples, but someone is asking.
Yes, definitely. As I said, our UG students have written papers in very reputed journals. And one of them is in University of Oxford. After writing 2 papers, not only one, he was a ASP student and he wrote 2 papers. So it's very, very common in, at least in physics, and I'm sure in other departments also,
Yes.
where they're very, very active in research.
The next question is, how do you bridge the gap between school education and university courses?
Can I go about it? So this is
No,
very
go ahead.
specific to physics. This is very specific to physics. If you want to come and do physics major, we have a very introductory mathematical, because mathematics is the language which physicists speak, right? So a basic understanding of differentiation, integration will definitely help. So at least some school level mathematics, differentiation, integration, if you are not comfortable, or some vectors, if you are comfortable with that, then it will be very easy for you to get along with the courses. If not, then please try to find some time and go back to these concepts. And even if you don't do that, when you join Ashoka University and you think that you will do physics major, just contact any of the physics professors and go and just talk to them, and they will definitely help you out. I have office hours 24/7, so anybody can come and talk to me. Whenever I'm staying on campus, I'm free to talk to everybody. So I think the mathematics is needed, at least if you want to do physics major. Just try to brush up your school level mathematics. That will definitely help. Yes.
Yeah, same for chemistry also. As I mentioned earlier, we have a 2-level course which actually designed for the students who didn't have any science in their plus 2. So there is no bar that just because you are not a science student, you cannot do science at Ashoka. You are definitely encouraged actually to do that.
Yeah, same with us. We have both a theory as well as a practical course to get students excited about biology. And the practicals that I take, I have had people from political sciences just being so excited about what we are doing, decided to join our practicals, and they're open to do this, right? Because knowledge is there for everyone to grab. So there is absolutely no stopping you. If you're interested, please do join.
Yeah, same for chemistry. Like some of the economics major student came and They did last year one ISM with me where I had to like tear apart my kid diaper to get the chemicals from there and show them some experiment, or they try to do some experiments with that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. That was the last question for the evening. So thank you for joining us for this insightful discussion, professors, and thank you for taking out time. We will now proceed with a few formal announcements, so you are welcome to log out at this time if you wish.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. For the audience, before we wrap up the session, we would really appreciate it if you could please take a minute to share your valuable feedback with us. The link to the feedback form is provided in the chat box. Please note that the recording of this session will be available on Ashoka's YouTube channel in case you would like to share it with your friends. Our next webinar, Ashoka Admissions Decoded, is scheduled for Wednesday, 13th November at 6 p.m. with Marcia Prince, Head of Admissions at Ashoka University. I would like to again remind you that round 1 applications for the undergrad program are open. You can secure your admission even without 12 board marks or CUET. The last date to submit your application in this round is 27th November 2024. If you have any further queries regarding various other aspects of the university, feel free to write to us at ugapply@ashoka.edu.in or call on the number shown on your screen. This brings us to the end of this session. I wish you all the best with your Ashoka applications. Take care, everyone.